Alright guys, so here's the unboxing and review of the Draken Tugela. I think that's how you pronounce it. Could be wrong, could be Draken possibly, but I'm going to go with Draken. So this was sent in for review. I've got to send it back though. I don't get to keep it, but as always, that's not going to change the way I do my reviews. I'm going to keep it 100% honest all the time, no matter what. So it comes in this cardboard sleeve, get that out of the way, and then let's get to the actual packaging. So we've got the branding on there, which is really nicely done. And it's a really nice case actually, pretty substantial. So you can actually use this to carry your watches around and protect them, which is nice, instead of just having a box that's going to sit in a cupboard somewhere. So let's see what we got in here. So let's start with this bit. So we've got instructions. Yeah, not really interested in that though. What else have we got? So we've got the warranty card, and then that is actually dated and signed, which is good, and it's also got the model number, because I think these are actually individually numbered. So we've also got a little Draken branded iron-on emblem thing. Interesting. Now, I've actually got a few straps in here. So we've got brown leather one, pretty sizable buckle on with the Draken branding. Ooh, what was that? Oh, one of the keepers has just come off. So we've actually got the branding on there as well, and it is quick release. And then we've got that nice orange stitching. So a pretty nice strap, but I've not really been wearing it on that, and I'll show you why in a minute. But before we do, we'll talk about this other strap as well. So you get a Zulu with it as well. So you do get a few strap options right out of the box, which is really good. Again, I've not been wearing it on this one either though. But we have actually got some nice hardware on there. All brushed finish. That is nice. I'll quickly show you now the links I've taken out, if I can get it to focus. So these are just push pins, not screws, which I guess would have been nice, but they work well enough, so that's not an issue. But you can probably see that this is actually bead blasted. So we'll get onto that in a minute when we talk about the actual watch. Speaking of which, here it is. So we'll get all this out of the way now. And here's the actual watch. So seeing as we're already talking about it, let's talk about this case and this bracelet. So like I said, it is bead blasted. It's 316L stainless steel though, with a bead blasted finish. So hopefully it will help hide any kind of scuffs and little scrapes that you get. A couple of little slight marks on this already, but with that finish you can't really see them all that well, which I guess is kind of the point. Plus it's just an interesting finish as well. So quickly talk about the clasp as well while we're around here. So I've got plenty of micro adjust on that, so getting the right size won't be an issue at all. We've got the branding on there, so got a little fold over bit, and then double pushers, milled clasp. Quickly talk about this case back, get a zoom in. So we've got a quite nice case back design there, again with the branding, and then we've got that unique model number at the top, so this one's 789, so claimed sapphire crystal. The Draken Tugela there, in fact there's 316L and 30 ATM, so that's 300 meter water resistance. So this is a serious diver. Now getting on to the rest of the watch, you can see we've got some AR coating on that crystal, so it's actually a single dome on this, with inner AR coating. So you get that bit of distortion from that dome, but then you also get the AR coating, so it's not too reflective, which is good. Which means you get to see those really nice indices. I'm going to zoom in on them so you can see them a bit better. So apparently, the shape of these are inspired by Zulu beadwork. So I do really like them. They are really distinctive. Not seen anything like that before. It's quite cool looking. They're only printed, not applied, but there's plenty of space there to get loom in. We'll talk about the loom in a bit. As for the hands, again, really nice broad hands. So again, plenty of space for loom. I do like the accents with this, like the little orange bit around the outside of the minute hand, tip of the orange, at the tip of the second hand being orange as well. And then we've also got that little orange bit around the date window at the 6. I do like it being at the 6. Just like the symmetry of that. So there's a nice touch. And it's also good that it's colour matched as well. So you've got a black one to go with the black dial. So quickly talk about this bezel now. So it's 120 click, and it is actually rock solid. No issues with that at all. Nice action, and it lines up perfectly. So it's an aluminium bezel insert for this, and this one's red, as you can tell. But they do actually have a few other colours as well. As always, links will be down in the description if you want to check it out. So let's quickly talk about the movement. In fact, quickly talk about this crown, because it is a really nice crown, really grippy. So gripping that's no issue at all. Really nice, and it's slightly recessed as well with these crown guards. So unscrew it, pop it out once. Oh, hang on, I'll pop it out twice so you can actually see the date window. Okay, pop it out once, you can change the date. Pop it out again, second hand stops, got a hack in, then we can change the time. And then pop it back in, second hand re-engages. And then screw it down really easily again. So, take a quick look at that crown actually. You probably noticed it's a little unusual looking. So we've got the logo in there, but it looks like it's actually loomed as well. So again, we'll check that out in a bit. And then you can see that lovely detailing on that bezel. It's really, really nice, that. And again, provides plenty of grip. We've also got female end links, which is always a really nice touch. So you don't need to worry about it wearing larger than the dimensions will suggest, which we'll talk about in a second. One thing I'm not too keen on though, is around the other side. They've got the branding on the side of the case. I never really like to see that, but I guess it's not too bad. It's not like ridiculously big as some other watches have it. So if it's going to be on there, at least it's relatively subtle. So let's get on to those measurements then, since we've briefly touched on it. So we've got a diameter of 42mm, thickness of 14mm, lug width of 22, but then it does taper down, as you can see, to 20, and then we've got a lug to lug of about 48.5. Again, with those female end links, if I do it on the actual bracelet, it's just over 49. So it does wear quite nicely actually, even though it is, you would have thought, quite a chunky watch. So now let's test, see if it is actually sapphire. using the trusty diamond selector too. And yep, we have got sapphire crystal. So before we get on to checking out the loom, I'm going to quickly mention the price of this. So because this is a New Zealand based watch, the price is actually in New Zealand dollars obviously. So New Zealand dollars, it's 580, which works out to about 416 US and about 296 in pounds. So not too bad. But let's see what the loom's like, see if that's going to be a deciding factor whether you want to pick one of these up. So got a decent amount of loom there already, but as always, let's charge it up, give it a proper chance. And there we go. So I'll quickly zoom in on this. I don't normally do this for loom, but if you can actually see that date window at the bottom at the 6, we've actually got the numbers loomed on that. That's the first time I've ever seen that on a watch. I do really like that. Wish more watches would do that. So other than that, we've got a loom pretty much everywhere. Really nicely loomed bezel, great loom on the hands as well. Indices slightly less bright than the hands, but if you can have it like that, obviously you want the hands to last longer. So the loom on this is actually X1C3, so it is pretty damn good loom. Obviously with that date window now you can see it's beginning to fade slightly, but that's just a bit of a bonus really, so you can't really complain too much about that. With the rest of it, it stays at this level now for a really good amount of time, so really good loom. So you could actually use this diving if you did want to. And then quickly take a look. Yep, we have got loom on that crown as well. Doesn't really serve any function, but it looks cool, especially with that logo. Do you like that? It's just a bit of fun. But again, really usable loom if you do want to take it diving, especially being a 300 meter diver. So all that's left to do now is show you what it's like on wrist. So this is what it looks like on my 7-inch wrist, and I do really like the way this wears. It's really nice, really comfortable. Do like the curvature to those lugs, helps conform to the wrist, because it is a rather chunky watch, but I think it wears smaller than dimensions would suggest. Obviously if you've got a smaller than 7-inch wrist, it's probably going to be a little bit too big, because this is probably just about close to the limit of what I'd be saying was good for a 7-inch wrist, with that 48mm lug to lug. Well, just over 48mm. But again, I do really like this. Going to be quite sad to see this one go. Might have to try and pick one up myself maybe. But again, if you want to pick one up, links will be down in the description as always. But that's it for this one guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.